A long time before Christopher Columbus discovered America, the Moors from Africa spread northward and fashioned a wondrous empire in southern Spain. Then slowly they fell before the swords of the Spanish kings, until all that was left was their capital city, Granada. Then it too fell when the Moors disappeared. But they left a mystic Arabic jewel that still sparkles in Granada, the Alhambra. Granada is a strange but colorful blend of the conquering Spaniards and the vanished Moors. On one hand is a city of reality, visibly linked with Spain's most brilliant and romantic era. And the towers of a great cathedral reach heavenward toward the Christian God. Throughout the city are fascinating touches that recall the days when Ferdinand and Isabella were here. That was the time when Granada's streets buzzed with the names of Columbus, Pizarro, and Cortez. The other Granada is a city of enchanting Moorish legends, magic, and mystery. Here are walls that whisper strange, long-forgotten names. Ibn Alamar, Yusuf, Mohammed, and Boabdil. Ancient crescent-shaped arches once looked down on the brightly robed followers of Allah and his prophet. These were the days when poetry and music and the arts and sciences were preferred to the curving scimitar and the game of war. One section of the city, called the Albayzín, is still a picturesque maze of narrow, crooked streets. Nowhere else in Granada is the mixture of Spanish and Arabic influence more romantic and practical. Here in the Albayzín, workers turn out amazing creations, using the same old methods employed by the early Spaniards and originated by the Moors. A makeshift forge fired by a handmade bellows, and then hundreds of sure, deft strokes from the coppersmith's mallet create objects of striking beauty. After 500 years, the influence of the ancient Moors can still be seen in today's ceramics, an industry as old as Granada itself. Arabic artistry still weaves and twirls through every intricate design. The implements these craftsmen use to fashion their products are as startling as the results they achieve. Old wooden hand looms held together with pegs and an odd assortment of string creak and groan in protest. Clickety-clack, rickety-rack, but still manage to turn out rugs of vivid colors, exotic patterns, and great durability. Of course, these are all practical things from the Granada of reality. But what of that other city, the one of magic and mystery, the Granada of the Moors? There it stands, on a ridge which knifes through the lower town. A city of magic indeed. For Ibn Alamar, the Sultan, was a magician and knew all the mystic formulas necessary to create the immense sums of gold needed to build this miracle city of yesterday's world. That's what the legend says, and it must be true. For this marvelous city and palace is known the world over. This is the Alhambra. And in all Europe, no other Mohammedan monument exists that approaches such grandeur, harmony of construction, or delicacy of design. Now, the people hereabouts attach something of magic and mystery to everything Moorish. Legends and superstitions hover about every tower and vaulted room. Each court and gallery possesses an apparition or tale of hidden Moorish treasure. was the American writer Washington Irving who put into words the mood that fills this fairy tale city. For he lived here, completely captured by the spell of this mystic place. For 100 years, the world has been charmed by his Tales of the Alhambra. And today, these captivating stories are told and retold, to the never-ending delight of young and old alike. When one is actually here, the shadowy figures that dance through these enchanting tales almost become visible and real, if you listen carefully.
Once in the olden times, lived a little fellow called Perihil. He had moved into one of the towers, that one. Although he was very poor, Perihil befriended an old Moor who, on dying, left him an ancient Arabic scroll and a taper. And so, taking the scroll and taper, Perihil and a Moorish friend who could read the incantations went to the Tower of the 7 Floors. Over there, just as the scroll said to do. Then the Moor read the mystic words as the taper burned. The floor opened up, and below them were enough riches for all the men in Granada. So, because he had helped an old man in need, Perihil was made very wealthy, and he became a man of great importance. It takes brave men to go to the gate of the 7 floors at night as Perihil did. You see, each evening at the stroke of midnight, Brundel, the headless phantom horse, comes charging out, followed by a wild lot of hellhounds. Until daylight, Brundel gallops madly through the hills with his yelping unholy companions, and anyone who gets in the way is never seen again. Long before Perihil found his treasure, there was a cruel sultan who had 3 beautiful daughters, and to keep them away from men, he imprisoned them in one of the towers, over there. It just so happened the Sultan had captured 3 handsome Spanish nobles. Well, the princesses saw them through a window of the tower, and the young men saw the beautiful girls. 2 of the princesses escaped and ran away with their lovers. But the third was a timid young thing, and when it came time to leave, her fears held her back. And if you happen to be near the tower on certain nights, you will hear a soft, melancholy voice singing, sometimes sobbing. Her spirit still haunts the tower, which is called the Tower of the Princesses. Today, girls in search of husbands have a far easier time. All they have to do is go to the Alcazaba, a fortress built during the 9th century. Then they find the bell in the old Moorish watchtower. It was this very bell the Spaniards rang when their conquest of the Moors was complete, and each year it is rung on the anniversary. Well, all any marriageable young girl has to do is ring this bell on that same day, and she is certain to have a handsome and lovable husband soon after. Yes, it is as easy as that. The Alcazaba is rather grim and formidable, not like the other parts of the Alhambra. For instance, the Court of Lions, which is one of the most beautiful places in the entire palace. However, if you should happen to go there at night, you might hear the clanking of chains and the cries of the dying, for 36 members of one of the royal families were beheaded there, just because the Sultan thought one of them was in love with the Queen. When you enter the Alhambra, you pass beneath a great archway that has 2 mystic symbols. One is a gigantic hand, and then down below in the vestibule is a huge key. According to tradition, the Christians could never enter the Alhambra until the hand grasped the key. But the Christians did come, led by Ferdinand and Isabella. And then, after about 100 years, the Spanish royalty moved away.
Yes, this is a city of legend and magic, a fairy palace from another world, a world as close to you as your own imagination. As long as there are people who can dream about this charming realm of fantasy, these delightful tales will go on and on for the young and the old. The romance of yesterday's world, still living in the Alhambra today.